Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 33. Before we get started with the channeling, I wanted to share a little bit about my experience being a bridge worker, what that means, and if that resonates with you, what you can do to make your experience a little bit easier and more harmonious. So I've shared with my newsletter community and with some of you my experience that started in March with the new moon, about how I went somewhere and it felt like I was splintered, like part of me was here and parts of me were somewhere else in other realms and realities. And what I came to understand was that yes, indeed, because one of my roles is to bring heaven to earth, that part of my energies were here and part of my energies were out there, bringing in those realms here. And so I made a very strong intention and commitment to bring all of my parts and aspects back to myself. All the parts of myself that belong with me for the highest alignments, because there are some things that you release that you don't really want back. So it's important to make that distinction. And also what I've done is, as I worked with one of my body practitioners, to ask a question: what does it feel like to live in my body in harmony with my soul? And the reason that question is important is because you are a bridge worker, your soul is very eager and willing to assist in this process of the shift. And it can sometimes get a little, I'm not sure what word to use, not out of control, but it can sometimes do its own thing without consideration of what your body needs. So it's very important for you to communicate with your soul that your physical needs need to be honored. And so by asking this question, you are eliciting that. How can I live in my body? What does it feel like to live in my body in harmony with my soul? Therefore, you're honoring your physical being while also honoring what your soul wants to do and putting those two things in harmony. And that question has helped me tremendously. Again, because I am a deep feeler, that's how I process. So asking that feeling question really enabled me to drop into my body and really feel, well, what would that feel like? And what that feels like is a lot more stable energy, less fatigue and less exhaustion, and that's been very, very refreshing. So for those of you who resonate, for those who feel like you are a bridge worker, hope that helps you. If you have any questions or comments about that, please put those below the video. I'd like to understand more of this experience so that I can really share with others how we can navigate this. Love you all, and let's get into the channeling.
A viewer asks, is it true that humans are 100% responsible for everything they experience in their lives?
Dear ones, while yes, you are responsible for your creations, for what occurs in your experience, the energy of this question indicates that if you do not take 100% responsibility, then you can judge yourself. What you must understand is that life is a co-creation. And as a collective, you are responsible. So you could say, yes, you are a 100% responsible. But if one person claims 100% responsibility, you can see how this brings things out of balance. If the collective and all claim 100% responsibility, then there is much more balance. And in this regard, when I say the collective and all, I am referring to all that contribute to creation. Humans, plants, animals, your star brothers and sisters, all in the universe, all beings in the multiverse, all are in some respect contributing to creation. And so if something occurs in your life, and you have been doing your inner work, and you take responsibility for your actions, reactions, and creations, and something occurs for you that seems outside of what makes sense according to the work that you have done for yourself, this may be a circumstance that has co-creation energies involved. And so again, to not be hard on yourselves, dear ones. To be gentle with your creations and to learn from the creations you did not like and to create something better.
A viewer asks, are there as many versions of reality as there are beings in creation?
Yes, dear ones, for each looks through his or her own lenses and filters. And so there are many versions of reality coexisting together. Now when you put all of these realities together, you create the collective reality. And in this understanding then, there is only one reality. But since the collective is not operating on the same timelines, in the same frequencies, you have not had this experience of one reality in this way.
A viewer asks, is there really only just one being in existence, and we are each just an individual expression of that one being?
And so how can the human mind understand oneness versus separation, unity versus individuality? For yes, in some respects, you are each individual expressions of one creation spark that has multiplied into many. But in your experience, what makes sense for the human mind is to have the understanding, yes, you are working towards oneness. However, at this time, you are functioning sometimes as individuals, sometimes as groups, sometimes in the collective. And so what is more relevant for your current experience? What would serve you to navigate your current experience as you move towards oneness? The answer is different for each one. And so this is a question you can ask yourself. What is relevant for me at this time as I move towards unity consciousness and oneness? What responsibilities must I take for my own being on my path? What responsibility can I share with my soul family? How can I create and co-create with those around me? How can I come together with like-minded and like-hearted individuals to form a soul group, to form a more amplified expression of the love and light that I am, rather than seeking to understand concepts that you have not yet fully arrived in? I invite you to work with where you are now, dear ones. Work with the energies that are currently relevant to your experience and your growth. In this way, you move into a heart understanding of your questions.
A viewer asks, are archons, archangels, and angels different from one another, or are they the same?
These beings are different, and they are at different places in their evolutionary journeys, just as each of you are, dear ones.
How are they different from one another?
We shall begin with archangels, as these beings are on the highest step in the hierarchy, as the human mind would understand these linear concepts. The archangels have a bit more responsibility in the light realm. They have developed the muscles, so to speak, to take on greater tasks. Their presence in the light realm is fuller, more expansive. And then there are angels. Please understand, dear ones, that in my view, none of these is greater or lesser. However, for your understanding, as we speak about angels, they would be on a lower evolutionary development than archangels. Angels have great power, great abilities to help and assist humanity. They have great abilities to assist others in your universe as well. These light beings are doing my precious work, and some of you have seen, whether in light body form or when they take a human body's form to assist you. It is more typical for an angel to take a human body form than for an archangel, for their ability to navigate to lower density. It is a bit more easier for them. Archons are what you might call angels in training, for they have not developed the abilities of angels. They are working towards this. That is why there is some convoluted energy that you experience with these beings from time to time.
A viewer asks, is Planet X going to pass Earth, causing catastrophes in a physical pole shift?
This is not the current timeline, dear one. Your planet Gaia has already shifted poles. It is not something that your science speaks much about. For in speaking of this, much else would be revealed and unveiled, but they are still holding in the dark. Planet X does not have this type of power. It is one of these illusions that has been able to come into your experience through your media.
A viewer asks, can Prime Creator explain how to do time travel?
Dear ones, some of you are already doing this in your dream time. However, since we are moving into a time where you will have more of these capabilities during conscious awake time, I will speak to this understanding. There are many facets involved in this, dear ones. You must adjust your frequency exactly to match the place and time in which you wish to travel. This takes great mastery indeed, while you are in human form. This is not something many humans have mastered. The human body must be pure and clear to a large extent. Without clarity and purity of the human body, this type of travel becomes dangerous to the human health. As returning to your original timeline could cause malfunction in the human body. if it is not healthy, if there are impurities in the form of patterns and programs, imprints and implants, lower vibrating thought forms, illness and disease residing in the body. There is a safeguard for humans. If you are unable to leave to travel to your desired location, you know that your human body is not yet ready. If you are able to get where you desire, it is more likely you will be able to return. And this is another part of the equation, dear ones. Before you leave to your desired timeline, it is important to be fully embodied and anchored in your present timeline with the intention to return. It is important to fully understand your intentions for this type of travel, to be clear about whether or not it is in your highest alignments to do this type of travel. Are your intentions and motivations pure? Do they serve the highest good? Do you simply want to play and experiment? If it is for experimentation only, you are not aligned to do this type of travel at this time. If it is for the highest alignments, then your inner work and evolutionary process will lend you towards this type of travel. Most of you are not yet ready for this, dear ones. Many of you are getting close. It is also important to have an understanding of how timelines bend and change, how to work with timelines, how to work with the energy of timelines, to make sure that the timeline you choose is stable, and your own timeline in this current understanding is stable so that you can return to it. So you see there is much involved, dear ones. Again, it is important to understand what is relevant for your current experience in these moments. Is it relevant for you to time travel? For most, the answer is not at this time.
What is the name of Gaia's truest and purest self?
Aleywah.
Who or what is Father Cosmos?
Father Cosmos refers to the overseer of your universe, dear ones. In some ways, he is your universe. But there is a distinction. He is a co-creator of your universe. He is not the creator in the sense that he did not create the universe by his own volition. Your universe was a co-creation of myself, the hierarchy, Father Cosmos.
Is Father Cosmos a being?
Father Cosmos is more of a being than how I have described myself as the highest energies of love and light. He is more a being in what your human mind would understand that to be. However, he is an orchestration of many light codes and DNA information. He carries within his being the understanding of all souls in this universe, the understanding of each soul's path, the understanding of each soul's history, the current understanding of each soul, where they are, what they are experiencing, how they are incarnated into form or not.
Is Father Cosmos a being in a manner similar to how Gaia is a being, and is this at the scale of the whole universe?
Gaia would be described as more of a being than Father Cosmos. Because Gaia is one entity, it is a bit different from Father Cosmos. Not that he is more than one entity, but the expansion, the depth and breadth and width, the expandedness of his being is different from Gaia. He encompasses more space, more matter, more mass, and in some ways more density. As he oversees the universe, he also is the entire universe.
Does his being go beyond this universe, or is it inclusive to this?
Like many of you, he does travel. In order to oversee this universe, it is important for him to understand what is occurring within the multiverse. So while he oversees this universe, he is also interacting with other universes, with other energies and understandings.
What is the name of Father Cosmos's truest and purest self?
At this time, dear one, the sound of his name would destroy your technologies. It would be a bit too much for your cells and your human bodies to handle.
Is there anything else, Prime Creator, we'd like to share with those watching this video at this time?
Dear ones, I thank you for all the roles that you play. For those watching this video who are not bridge workers, you are just as loved, just as important, just as cherished. We talk about this topic because it is relevant for this channel. However, for those watching for whom this is not relevant, please understand and know that you are cherished in my heart. I love you and I thank you for your service. A word about what is coming in the next few months. As the energies continue to come to your planet, I invite you as always to stay focused on the light, for you will continue to see polarity amplified and heightened. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by what your media tells you. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by shadow and darkness. For as you amplify the light within your own beings, the polarity experienced on this planet will heighten. As the gamma waves of love and light continue to flood your planet, you will continue to experience polarity. And so it is important, dear ones, to do your best to transcend, to not engage with energies of polarity, energies of the shadow, unless, of course, you are cleaning your own self of your shadows. This message is very important at this time, dear ones. Stay within the love. Stay within the light. See only love. See only light. Within yourselves and in others. Heed these words, dear ones. And I thank you. Well, beautiful message and understanding about Father Cosmos. I'm grateful for that understanding. I'm grateful for all of you, all that you do, all that you are. Whether you're a bridge worker or not, I love you each, and I appreciate the role that you are playing in our beautiful planetary ascension and ascension for our own personal beings. Much love.